it.
Hello out there, thanks for joining us on Political Platform. Fresh bells are being, how do I say it? The ASUU, the umbrella body for teachers in the universities in Nigeria, are drumming up fresh sounds for strikes in Nigeria. We'll be talking about it. Biodun Oguyemi, the president of ASUU, will be joining us on the program to tell us why we are going to be locking up the doors of our universities. Once again, we thought we had gone above all this and we are not going to be having problems anymore. But it does appear that both federal and state universities are in agreement as to their demand for the federal government and the state governments to do something about the universities. Now, we are going to begin with it, as we are going to be having the ASUU president. Apart from the Academic Staff Union of Universities that are beating the drums of strikes in the universities, we have other issues that we need to take on. Let's see now if we are able to reach him. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, ASUU president. Thank you so much. You are on Ray Power Live, and we are beginning with you now on our program. What is happening? What is happening all over again?
What is happening is that government has not lived up to its promise to our union. Last year, when we went on a running strike, government promised to address the issues. Issues that concern the following: fractional payment of salaries. Our colleagues in federal universities have been paid fractions of their salaries, sometimes as low as 70-50%. Then the issue of stopping withdrawal of support to staff schools. Even when there was a judgment that condemned that, government still continues doing that. The issue of registration of university-based pension fund administrator, which we call the census, government promised to address it. The issue of the centralization of our public universities in Nigeria, based on the report of the needs assessment carried out in 2012, government has almost reneged on it. The issue of professors retiring with their salary, government has not fulfilled that promise. So the promise about isolating some components of university finances from single treasury account, the government has not fulfilled that. So when we put all these issues together, we go back to what we did when we met at the National Assembly last year as part of the process of resolving the industrial action declared that time, where the national leadership of the Senate, where the leadership of the National Assembly brokered some understanding. So after that, we have told the National Assembly that government was not living up to its promises. We have also listened to the Minister of Education, Minister of Finance, Minister of Labor and Employment, telling all of them about the need to ensure that government fulfills its promises to our union. We have been going back to our members to report that government still promised to fulfill those promises. But at a point, our members were beginning to doubt us, and they told us point blank that they had enough of empty promises.
But you, the teachers in the university, ASUU, the government, and all those who are in the management of education, must be very, very aware that Nigerians are tired of these frequent strikes that are on, and that there's a collective failure on everybody to get the universities to run the way they should run. And our universities are running half steam. Can we ever run around this circle of if you don't give it to me, I'll go on strike. If I go on strike, I will sack everybody, all the threats and everything. When are we going to get out of this?
Well, thank you for that observation. But let us get something very clear. What we have been seeing in the university has been a regime of patching up. The government report itself, way back 2012, through inspection to all public universities in Nigeria, concluded that what we have on our campuses are just shadows of what it means to have a university. Imagine a chemistry lab where they use kerosene stove as bronze burner. Imagine a lab where they fetch water with buckets to perform experiments. Imagine library without replica stock of books. Imagine laboratories without business equipment. So our classrooms are overcrowded. Go to the hostel, you will see that students are living like you have 12, 20 students in rooms meant for 4 students. These are all documented in the report. And each week, government, let us start the process of revitalization so that we can reposition our universities for greatness.
The various vice chancellors of
Ensuring the quality of education we give.
Okay, my colleague has a question.
the various vice chancellors in the various federal universities have always, for a very long time, been members of the academic staff. Don't you blame yourselves for the mismanagement and the rot being found in the universities now?
All right, before you can blame them for anything, before you can blame anybody, you have to ask yourself too, what percentage of the budget has been going into education? Even in countries where we have war, where we have crisis, they allocate well over 20% to the education sector because of the priority they give to education. In Nigeria, it has hovered between 6 and 10%. Last year it was 7, this year it is 6. So when you keep having that kind of allocation, before you even accuse anybody of misappropriating, let us ask, we don't have that quantum resources. Allegation is very cheap. It's very cheap to blackmail anybody. I gave you money that you didn't manage well. But what has government done to those who mismanage?
Okay.
So ASUU does not support mismanagement. You can't blame poor quality or mismanagement of funds.
That's a very that.
People to fault. You try them.
Comrade President, the current administration set up the Wale Babalakin committee to dialogue with ASUU. Does it mean that these several months, the talks and the dialogue between you and the committee is not yielding fruits?
No, there are 2 separate issues. The Babalakin committee is to negotiate or renegotiate the 2009 agreement. There were aspects of that agreement that have gone beyond the issue of documentation. They have become actionable because they have been brought action. I mean, they have been brought out for implementation. In some aspects, implementation has already commenced. Let's take the issue of fractions of salaries. You are not going to renegotiate my salary. If I've been on a salary for 5, 6 years, and suddenly government is reducing it, are you with me?
Yeah, we are with you.
If government is suddenly reducing my salary, you can't tell me that I should go and renegotiate that.
Okay, now
I've been reduced.
all right, let's find a way forward. What is the minimum demand from ASUU that would prevent this strike?
The minimum, what you call minimum demand, the minimum demand is that government should go back to the understanding we reached at the National Assembly last year on what to do. We have highlighted all these issues the National Assembly set up a committee that will interface with ASUU and the relevant MPAs. We had that discussion, and at that discussion, we outlined some strategies.
Just be specific.
Government
Let's
went to sleep after that.
let's be specific. What exactly do you want that is the minimum that will make this strike not to go on?
What do I call it minimum? For instance, how do I talk about minimum of my salary that is not paid in full? Why did I pay my salary? There's no minimum for that.
Okay, so it is just the bundle. It is the bundle of.
If government sign an agreement that they will fund staff school, and there's a court judgment that government was wrong to have withdrawn support for staff school. What is minimum about that? It's implementation.
Okay, now what I wanted to get at. What I wanted to get at.
They will fast track the registration of PSA, and government has not done it. What is minimum about that?
Okay, what I wanted to get at was if it is possible, foreseeable, if it is conceivable that government was going to heed your demand and then you meet with your demand. It's like we are heading towards this strike and there's nothing holding it back. That's actually what I want to get at.
No, I didn't get that question.
No, what I'm saying is that we are very sure now that the universities will be shut down.
We are not shutting. We are not saying the university will be shut down permanently. We are saying that we have a roadmap for addressing this issue. Let's go back to the roadmap.
Why we are going back?
Why should the government pay workers fractions of their salary? Why should the government withdraw support it has been given to a staff school suddenly? And we agree that go back to this. They said we should wait for court judgment. The court judgment came December 5 last year. Government has failed to implement it.
Okay. Now what are your instructions? Lastly, sir, what are your instructions to your members?
Our members know what to do. We have put them through the chairperson. Because the decision to embark on this action did not emanate from the national leadership. The decision came from the branches. The branches said they wanted it. We conducted a referendum across our branches. So people should not just place it on the leadership. We don't impose decisions on our members. Our decisions are always taken bottom up. So from bottom, it goes to the top. So I'm sure our members know what to do, and we are in touch with them.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us time. We'll be reviewing with you as time goes on. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. Adebayo Bodurin, the president of the president of ASUU there, and insisting that things must be done the way they want it. They must go back to the drawing board, to that roadmap, take a holistic look at what are required in the university system to run it well, or else they continue to believe that the government has not been serious, they are not serious, and they are not ready to be serious. And they have asked their members to down tools.
It's unfortunate that we are back to this same problem all over again. You will recall that in the 90s, there was a particular year that ASUU was on strike for close to almost nearly over 6 months. Universities were closed across the country. And we are back to it again. The totality of it is that we need a comprehensive review of our education system.
Yeah. Well, we'll come to it, Adebayo Bodurin. Let's go back to the drawing line, and my colleagues will be coming back to ASUU. If it's all the issues we'll talk today, we'll talk about it. But let's, as usual, tell you that my colleagues are here. I have still Hiedu Anyangu, who is getting ready to run to Asaba, but at least we are still holding him back in the studio here today. Hiedu, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I know you are disturbed because when you hear students not going to school, you're getting all that you have, all that you can summon up in these hard times to send your children to school, and the universities are on strike, then you get into some.
Ohira, the unfortunate thing is that at times we behave as if we can reinvent the wheel. I've always said that looking for a heady teeth in a rotten mouth is foolhardy. And the issue here is that these universities, oftentimes the lecturers will tell you because of the nature of facilities in the university, that is actually to authenticate their demand. The main demand is that their salaries is what they want. The moment you pay them their salaries, even if the students are studying under the tree, I can tell you some of them will not even give a hoot. But the issue is this. If we must make progress, I'll give you an example what one of the polytechnics in Delta State did. The rector, very, very ingenious. If we had opportunity of even extending his tenure for more than 2 terms, the governor would have done that. The man employed the services of even the students who are in engineering departments, the lecturers in engineering departments. All the structures they were building, they were using internally generated funds. Universities are also supposed to generate money, either through research, the products of universities. They don't produce anything because government is always there to make money available.
We'll be coming to all that in the course of the discussion. Mustafa Mohammed is also here. Mustafa, welcome to the program.
Thank you. The biggest question is what happened to the money the students were paying for registration over the years before the advent of TSA?
They have all up. They were being swallowed up then in many where there were pipes that they were going through, but the TSA has produced one single pipe now that the money must go through, and there are complaints. Dr. Amechi Anakwe, welcome to the program.
I think ASUU has a share of blame here. They've not told us why they always allow vice chancellors to hijack the management of universities.
When there's a governing
board where you have a senate, we have
council.
instances where they will just some of them will connive with the vice chancellor and oversee a looting of the finances of the universities, but beyond their culpability. The bigger one is with the government. It appears primary education and secondary education in Nigeria have almost collapsed. The only level of education that will still have some level of sanity is the tertiary education system. And if nothing is done, it will equally collapse, and that will signal the end of the country. The minimum, the least a government can do is to provide quality, cheap education and quality and cheap Medicare for the citizens. Where they fail in these two, add security to it, then we have a failure. We need to put pressure on the government to raise the funding of education in Nigeria to 20%, and not just make 6 to. Do you know what 6 to 7% of?
All right, let's hear from you there out there, political platform at yahoo.com. But just before then, let's take a break, and when we come back, we get to our mailbox.
Bust it.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Welcome back from the break. It's the mail segment, and I'm Amaka Okoro.
I'm Tenikang Akepu. You're welcome.
We'll begin with a mail from Emmanuel Ocharifu from Maraba in Nasarawa State, and he writes on the ASUU strike. The mail reads, the indefinite strike embarked upon yesterday by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, due to non-implementation of agreements by the government, is to say the least an act of insensibility to the future of our country by the government. You don't need an atomic weapon or ballistic missile to destroy your country. Just pull down the quality of the education, like it is now in Nigeria, and the country is gone. Very few Nigerians today were not victims of strikes during their educational pursuit in Nigeria. It shows the I don't care attitude of the past and present administration towards education.
And this mail is from Ngozi Okoronkwo in Abuja, writing on the Niger Delta youth threat. The mail reads, while we are battling to get Ariwa youth to back down on their October 1st deadline for Igbos to leave the north, a Niger Delta youth group has also issued October 1 deadline for Northerners and Yorubas to leave the Niger Delta. This is very unfortunate and will not lead us anywhere, as each zone and region needs the order to survive. I call on our leaders to call these youths to order, while the youths too should shun every divisive tendencies capable of causing chaos in the land.
And over now to the presidency. This particular one is coming from Paul James in Abuja. It says, I am delighted to see President Buhari looking stronger in a video clip while meeting with his media team in London. This has vindicated what the governors who visited him earlier said, that he is recuperating fast. May I advise Buhari not to rush home till his doctors give him a clean bill of health. Nigerians are praying for him. And this is the much we have today for you. Do keep sending your mails to us. The route to reach us is political platform at yahoo.com. Bust it!
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Thank you so much for your mail, sir. Sir Victor King, thank you for your mail. Yeah, we always watch when allegations are made and they are flying on the pages of the newspapers. If you watch, what we do is to monitor and see what happens. It's not enough to join issues, just like what they do in the social media to begin to talk about Dizani has stolen this, Dizani has not stolen that. Of course, the Dizani who is being alleged to have stolen money is also fighting back to say she has never stolen any money. What remains is for the government to do the needful. Let there be an investigation that is open to Nigerians. Let them come up with figures, facts and figures, go to court, charge Dizani to court, whether here or in London or anywhere. And then we will begin to have the basis for analysis of them. We cannot be analyzing on the basis of the allegations that we are not sure of, that the government has not taken the final steps of actually filing those matters in court. Yes, we hear some monies have been recovered. Government officials are only leaking the stories. They leak them and say this is what has happened. The FCC should be open about it, tell us what is happening, and then we have the basis to do analysis. We try as much as possible to do it professionally. We are not also saying that we are perfect or we do it the way everybody wants us to do it. And that is why when you write to us, no matter what you say, provided that they are not maligning people, we get it on no matter how strong criticisms you have against us. As we wrap up, let's just quickly talk about the closure of the classrooms in our university. Adebayo Bodurin, let me begin with you. Just briefly, because time is going to go.
Yeah, I'm at pains. I'm at pains because we have witnessed this thing over and over again the last 2 decades, and it is a very, very sad development. We are toying with the future of the country unless this issue is resolved once and for all.
Mustafa Mohammed.
How do you expect to resolve this when the policymakers over time have their children in some of the best private schools and a lot of them the children go to foreign universities? And I still blame the ASUU and university management for mismanagement the little resources that have been coming into the universities the past 20, 30 years.
Well, if you take a look at the university, I think I have said this again and again, and I will say it again. Dr. Olatuju Dare was a teacher at University of Lagos. As a young reporter, Dr. Olatuju Dare was the chairman of the editorial board.
Now a professor.
Yeah, of the Guardian. He's now a professor. I will tell you that. I'm building up. Now he came and excelled in his media management. Was the chairman of the editorial board. At some point, he got frustrated. You also know that at some point, the government then appointed him to go and be managing director of Daily Times, which he turned down. He packed his bags and went out of the university. If you put your Google on Bradley University is a small university, according to him. He entered to teach in a university, a small private university in the United States of America. Professor Olatuju Dare, as it is, he is now, said the budget of mass communication department of that small university is bigger than 2 years of the entire budget of University of Lagos. So you understand what we are talking about. When you don't have funding, if mass communication that department that doesn't have a laboratory to buy reagents and chemicals have a budget that is bigger for their own research than the budget of University of Lagos, the entire budget of the University of Lagos, you know what we are talking about. Now, it amounts to how government has been paying lip service to issue of educating our children over the years.
It's not only government, also Nigerians, all of us are culpable in this respect. Here is like the case we have always mentioned. Somebody is in Lokoja, he wants to come to Abuja, and eventually at the bus stop he saw a very beautiful vehicle, and this vehicle is going to Auchi, not to Abuja. Now the one that is supposed to come to Abuja is quite rickety. He believes that if he enters this one, there will be gallop along the way, and he decided to board the one going to Auchi. Eventually he sees himself in Okene, and as they progress, he sees himself in Ubila. He's moving further away from Abuja. The best thing is for him to return. The case of our education system is that we are moving in the wrong direction. People must pay school fee for education. For those who cannot pay, government should be able to establish a fund where they can
get loans.
If you don't do that, our education will continue to dip. No matter how sentimental you want to get about it, we must pay school fees. The schools must generate funds for it to run. This idea of calling government this, when government have a lot of competing needs, will not take us anywhere.
All right,
it will just be like the man in Lokoja going towards Edo rather than coming to Abuja.
Just the last word from Dr. Amechi.
The failure of our tertiary education system could be better imagined when you realize that Nigerian students are now attending universities in French-speaking West African countries, Benin Republic, even
Togo,
Niger, Chad. Can
Ghana.
you imagine Chad, Niger Republic, Benin Republic receiving students from Nigeria 20 decades ago? When I was in the university from 1993 to 1998, I saw foreign students from Ghana, from Tanzania, from South Africa in Nigerian universities. Today, you will hardly see any. It is the other way around. It tells you that while others are improving,
they are retrogressing.
Is getting deeper.
Then we have to come back tomorrow to the subject, and we'll continue to monitor what will be happening in the universities. But our time is up. Okiri Agbonsuremi here. Please do have a wonderful day ahead.
Bust it.